What's up, everybody? Eric here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Every day in this channel, we talk about lead gen arbitrage, media arbitrage, anything that is result driven, anything that we can measure. All of that comes down to performance, right? And we're performance marketers. I want to talk to you guys today about a question, or more of a discussion that we've been having. And I just want to kind of clarify things a little bit. When you hear people out there, Russell says it, and he quotes from Dan Kennedy, the person that can pay the most wins, right? I hear that a lot. And the person that can pay the most money to acquire a customer wins, okay? So I just wanted to dive into that a little bit and explain what that means, right? Because I think it's misunderstood. Let me kind of dive in here to show you with math, okay? Now, when you're out there and you're buying traffic, okay, there's the cost to get the click, and then there's the revenue that you make from that click. And if you back that out, you can look at it as what you're making on a revenue per click. If you're spending $1 per click and you got 1,000 clicks, you got $1,000. And if you generated, let's say, $3,000 from those 1,000 clicks, then you ended up making $3,000, 1,000 clicks, $3 per click, right? So simple math, right? If you look at it, is okay. $1 CPC and $3 RPC, right? Here's the deal, right? The only way you can afford more per click is based on how much money you're making, right? Or if you have a strategy in the back end on what you're able to do with that data at the end of the day, from filling out a lead form to the lifetime value of that customer, right? As an example, let me show you something in how it works with affiliate marketing, okay? Now let's pretend that you go out and you get an offer. Let's call it XYZ weight loss, right? And what happens is, this is the advertiser. Okay. Now, let's say that they are willing to pay, let's say they're willing to pay $50 a sale. Okay. So someone's going to pay for the product. When they pay for the product, $50 goes to you. Now, let's say that now you have affiliates that want to run the offer. So you have affiliate 1, 2, and 3, right? Well, who can afford more per click? Let's say that each of them are getting the $50 CPA. Right? Well, they're all getting paid the same for a sale, okay? It really comes down to a few things. If they're gonna go out and buy a click, one could be, what kind of margins do you wanna work on? If one person's willing to work on 10% margins and another person's willing to work on 30% margins, well then who's gonna have more allowable to buy a click, right? It's as simple as that, right? So like, let's say that you get 100 sales, right? So 100 sales times 50, what is that, 5K? $5,000, right? Now in this scenario, let's say this guy got 100 sales. He's also making 5K. Well, what happens if this guy wants to work on 25% margins? Right? What can he afford? Well, what's 25% of 5K? What is that, $1,250 they make? Is that right? So they're going to profit 1250, and the allowable would be 3750, right? Let's say that this guy would work on 10% margin, right? So here, this guy's going to profit $500. This guy is going to have an allowable of 4,500, right? So how many clicks did it take to get these sales? Now let's pretend like it's the exact same conversion rate, right? So let's say that they both used 1,000 clicks. To generate these 100 sales, right? Boop. 10% conversion, which would be really good, by the way, on a mini buy for a $50 credit card on a cold click. But yeah, so when you look at this, right here, at 1,000 clicks, if this guy's working at 10% margins, this guy's working at 25% margins, what are they going to bid for to make it work for them? How do you figure that out? Well, you take the allowable of the 3,750 and the 4,500, and you divide that by the 1,000 clicks, right? So this guy, what does this equal? What is that? 45-cent CPC, right? And this guy over here, 37.5 CPC. This is the winner, right? So as you can see here, right, this is just doing it with affiliates. I mean, the challenge here is that you don't really have an edge because it's the same exact offer. Now you could be buying traffic in different places, of course, right? But still, it doesn't matter. That means that you're still competing against other people in the marketplace. It's not just like this weight loss against affiliate to affiliate, right? I mean, this is definitely one of them. But if a life insurance guy wants to have that traffic and target those same people, well, then you're competing against that life insurance guy. The whole idea here is you can only figure out how much you can pay to acquire a customer based off of what your back end revenue is, right? It starts from the back and works its way forward, right? Now, you could have a strategy where you're getting some leads and then you're able to work those leads later down the road, right? But here's the thing, okay? This is where people confuse things, okay? It's not about just paying for a click, right? In this scenario, right, he's paying 45 cents, 37.5 cents. You're going to take the 45 cents all day long, right? You're paying more. The person that's selling that inventory is going to take that. Now, here's how it works with Google, okay? And here's how they look at it, okay? Anybody know how Google makes money? Or how they started? I mean, they make tons of money in different ways. But, right, when they started, it's a search engine, right? Someone types in a keyword, right? And then what happens is these three spots are ads. Then this is the product. This is the organic section, right? Maybe they put some ads over here too, right? Ads. And the whole idea of whether Google is valuable or not is, will they return relevant information when you're searching? That is going to determine how good this product is or not. What happens is they're building advertisements around this product. People come in for free, they search, relevant information comes up, they can click on any of these links here, right, that show up. Right there, Google doesn't make money if you click on that, right? If you do, they click out to a third-party site, This is why SEO agencies exist. So the whole concept here is you want to show up where Google's algorithms are picking up your site so that you show up at the top of the results. And it's free, right? Well, if you're paying an SEO agency, it's not free because you're paying for the traffic, right? It just takes time to build up the authority of your site so that you're going to get picked up that way. It's got to be relevant, of course, and there's a whole tricks of things you could do. But there's all around like backlinks and all this stuff, right? Something that I just don't engage in that type of business. When you have that traffic, it is the best quality traffic on the internet. You know, top three, definitely. But I think the best, right? Somebody's already coming in and searching for something. They have intent, and now there's results showing up, right? It's good traffic, really good traffic. Versus like when you go to Facebook and somebody's going to go on and look for what's going on in their friend's world, right? And all of a sudden, like there's an ad that runs through, and you as a marketer create some pattern interruption, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to catch their eye, right? You have some hook that's amazing. They didn't think they were going to go and click on your ad today, but you did a great job of capturing their attention, and they clicked, right? The intent of that click is very different than the intent of a click in a search engine, right? They are initiating the search. Relevant things are coming up. In Facebook, they didn't even know they were going to click on your ad today. They had no idea. They weren't even thinking about it, right? They were going in thinking like, all right, well, what's going on in my social world? And then they end up clicking, okay? But the thing is that the way Google started making money is people would bid, okay? And this is called PPC, pay per click. And the way it works is you bid on a click basis within Google, right? So let's say I'm in the, what kind of business could be relevant? It's called ClickFunnels, right? The software space for funnels. Let's say the keyword that someone searched for was funnel software, right? Well, anybody could bid on that. Anybody that has any interest in that. A person's coming in, they're typing in funnel software, and then what's going to happen is there's going to be results organically, but then people that are looking to try to get a user to come and use their services is likely going to bid there. So a bunch of funnel software companies will be there, right? So ClickFunnels might be one of them. So ClickFunnels could be a bidder. They might come in and bid. I don't know. Let's call it a software company 2. Right? Is a bidder. I don't know who their competitors are, who they consider their competitors. But what happens is when you go in, Google gives you like a recommendation. It's all around supply and demand, right? Number one is how many clicks are available. So they give you a range. They might say, all right, funnel software, well, not clicks, sorry, searches, right? There's 50,000 people searching for this searches for funnel software. They're typing in funnel software. That's the opportunity. You could, up to 50,000, you can actually capture that you can get an impression on. Well, the way that Google is looking at what's most valuable to them isn't necessarily just on how much you bid. It's not at all, actually, right? Because what could happen here is, let's say that ClickFunnels is willing to pay $1 per click. Let's say this other guy, this competitor here, is willing to pay $2 CPC per click, right? Well, if you have spot 1 and spot 2, okay? Well, what happens is ClickFunnels is over here, and the other company, the competitor, is here, okay? Now, the question is, when they show this, how many clicks do they get? They look at it by the revenue per 1,000. So what that means is they show the competitor's ad 1,000 times and the ClickFunnels ad 1,000 times when they load the page. So there's 2 ads being shown for 1,000 impressions, right? And the way that it works is, let's say that 100 people click on the bidder at the $2. So they're generating $200 in clicks. And let's say that you get 400 clicks on ClickFunnels. They're paying $1. So they're spending $400. Who is more valuable to Google? ClickFunnels, right? So if you looked at it on what Google would be making on a cost per 1,000 to ClickFunnels, a cost per 1,000 to the competitor, this is a $200 CPM. That's a $400 CPM. That's ultimately what they're paying. If you back it out, right? To Google, they're making money, so it's a revenue per 1,000. So their RPMs are 200 and 400. So just because you're bidding more money doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best, because if nobody clicks, they don't make any money. When you're out there and you're looking at what you're doing, you need to understand what is going on with the publisher that you're buying traffic from. And once you understand what their goals are, then you can dive in and figure out, is this going to work for me or not, right? Can I be the player in the space that's going to get more clicks, right? And if they're paying $1 a click and these guys are paying $2 a click, why would someone click on one or the other? Well, obviously it just depends on what the offer is, how they're positioning it, and all that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, this guy is going to get the #1 spot. This guy's going to get dropped down. I'll tell you, if other guys come in, then it's going to completely change. Here's the thing. When you're talking about whoever can afford the most to acquire a customer, they're paying 400, these guys are paying 200, these guys are going to win all day long. Google's going to push them all day long because they make the most money there. Well, how can they afford 400? Well, it all depends on what's going on in the back end. So how do you pay more? How can you afford more? You have to generate more revenue on the back end. So it's all around what you're making. That's how you can pay the most in the marketplace. And there's all kinds of different ways you could do that, right? You could do it with upsells and downsells and all that good jazz so that you can increase the value of what you're making, right, on every click. You know, I've seen things where deals in the past, what I've done is I've done like co-brands, which is a really cool strategy you could think about doing, where let's say that I have an offer where I'm going out and I'm generating a lead, right? And at my business, I can afford $2 per lead. With all the other people in the space that I'm competing with, we're about the same. If I do a co-brand with somebody that is also out there buying traffic that has something relevant to what I'm doing, and we could both share the lead, look what happens. I did this in the past where I had a deal, I was generating leads, I had somebody else who was bringing over their guides, which were of value to the customer. So we used that as some giveaways. They were out buying traffic as well, but they couldn't afford to pay as much as their competitors. But now what's happening is we're willing to pay for the lead also, right? So let's say that person was paying $1 per lead and their competitors were paying $2 a lead. Well, their competitors can outspend them. So what do? Well, let's say they come over here and I partner with them. I get their information, I get their guides, I get the ability to just give all this valuable information to my audience for free. And I'm out there paying $2 a lead, maybe the same as the guy who he's competing with. What if I put together those deals? So then this guy's paying $1, I'm paying $2, we can afford $3 to get a lead. This guy over here can only afford $2. What happens? We can pay more. I didn't necessarily increase the value in the back end. I'm still running my business the way I always did. But what I did was I added another component to increase the value by teaming up with somebody else to be able to outspend everybody. Does that make sense? I'll give you one more example. A big business today is these review and comparison sites. You see like NerdWallet, Consumer Advocate, and there's so many other ones, right? They're out there, and what they're doing is they're creating these reviews around different verticals. They're doing comparisons. So what you'll see is let's call it home security. in the home security space, right? They're trying to get installs. They want people to install their home security system into their homes, right? Into homes. So companies are like ADT, maybe like FrontPoint, I think is another one. There's tons of them, right? Well, what's happening is these guys are definitely out there trying to buy traffic for themselves. But what these review and comparison sites have figured out is they can put together a page where home security reviews, right? And what they'll do is they'll review each home security system and set these up in their page, right? So let's say there's Frontline. Okay, so number 1 is ADT. Number 2 is Vivint. Number 3 is FrontPoint. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Number 4, Alder. Never heard of it. And number 5 is Cove. Okay, so ADT, Vivint, FrontPoint, Alder, and Cove. And guys, this is a strategy you could do with any vertical, okay? You guys want to talk about like how you can start a lead gen business, how you can start any kind of business. This is a killer business. I'm telling you, I know people make a ton of money doing this, millions. What's crazy about this, check this out, is let's say you're buying all PPC traffic, right? We just went over all the Google traffic, which is search traffic, people searching for this stuff. Well, the way you run this business is you connect with each of these companies and you do a deal with them. You do a deal where you get paid on some metric. You could do it on a click, on a lead, on an install, whatever that is. So let's say you're getting paid on installs, okay? Let's say that ADT is willing to pay $2,000 for an install. Vivint's willing to pay $1,750, FrontPoint $1,500, $1,250, and $1,000, okay? So the way this business works is you're competing against the ADT company by itself. So when they're bidding, right, if you look on what I just searched on, number 1 was ADT, number 2 was Home Security Systems, number 3 is Top 10, number 4 is Simply Safe. 2 out of the 4 are review sites. Let's see what Top 10 is. On Top 10, their top pick is ADT. Number 2 is Vivint. Number 3 is Cove. Number 4 is FrontPoint. Number 5 is Simply Safe. Number 6 is Blue. Number 7 is Security Pricer. 8 is Scout. So they only have 8 partners. It's called Top 10, but they must have not been able to get up to 10. All of these, somewhere on this page, say they're going to get paid for an install. When they're reviewing these companies, there's something that benefits them by you signing up. If Vivint came in and said, hey, I'll pay you $2,500 an install, guess what? They might be the new number 1. Nothing's changed other than they're going to make more per install. Now there's all these variables of, is this business sell? It's same as how Google's looking at it. Just because they're paying more per click doesn't mean it's more valuable, right? Because at the end of the day, they're going to get a click to this page, right? So they're going to pay for a click. In home security, let's say it's $35 to get a click for home security. Install a new home security system. Say it's $35, right? So ADT might be bidding $35 a click, right? And then this review, home security review, might be bidding, say, $33 a click. The way that this business is set up is home security review could technically be able to buy a click for more money than ADT if things back out the right way for them, right? So it's like whoever can pay the most to acquire a customer wins, right? All that means is that you're going to get more traffic. With Google, they're going to show an offer based on what's most valuable to them. If Home Security Review can afford to pay more than ADT and they can get the clicks that will result in Google making more money, then they will be the ones that have their ads shown more than anybody else. The whole point of what they're saying when they say the person that could pay the most to acquire a customer, all that means is who is the most valuable advertiser for where you're buying traffic, because that publisher, they care about making money. And if they're going to make money off of you, and they're going to make more money off of you than anybody else, then they're going to show your ad more. It's as simple as that. And the way that you can do that is by being the most valuable offer to them. How do you become the most valuable offer to them? You have to increase the value of what your offer is worth to you. If you're able to make $5 a customer, are you willing to acquire a customer for 10? No, because you just lost $5 a customer. Unless you have a strategy for long tail that the customer's here for $5, you lose 5, and then you're going to be able to monetize that user over the next 6 months, and you're willing to front that money. Some companies do that. Some companies lose money. Certainly startups who get an investment of $500 million and their plan is to build up a business over 5 years, and they know they're going to lose money in the beginning, but they're acquiring customers, and they're going to keep those customers in their platform so that they can monetize them at a later date, increase the value of the customer, right? But in that scenario, you're losing money on the front end. I can't do that. You can't do that. Unless someone's giving you millions and millions of dollars, we can't do that. So we got to figure out how to compete with something like that. And the only way to do that is to increase the value. So on this review page here, what they do is, which is really cool, they go out, they buy traffic to a review site, and then the model is they try to break even on the media buy with the number one slot, right? So by doing so, let's say they get 1,000 clicks to this page. Well, they might get 50 clicks here, 500 clicks there, 300 clicks here, 150 clicks here. What is that, 8, 950? 25 and 25. Right? Then what happens is every time somebody clicks, they link out to that third-party offer. The question is, what is the conversion rate on these? So whatever that conversion rate is on them installing, right? So let's say the click is to set up an appointment. The appointment, then the guy goes to their house, and then they close on the sale, and there's a sale, right? And however that deal is structured, you could do it in a quicker way so you can buy some media. They all get it, right? But at the end of the day, what happens is let's say that they paid $33 to get here. And they did this with, 100 clicks. Well, we're looking at 1,000 clicks, right? Well, at 1,000 clicks times 33, they just spent, what, $33,000 cost to get people here? Right? So let's see if it works or not. I'm just making these numbers up. Let's pretend just to make it easy for me, 10% conversion. So on 500 clicks, they're getting, what is that? 10% conversion, 50 sales. Here they're getting 30 sales. Here they're getting 15 sales. Here they're getting 2.5. Here they're getting 2.5. Right? Let's just call that 5 total. You would make 100K here. You would make 52.5. You would make 22.5, 2,500, and 2,000. And that would total 179,500. Well, guess what? Let's say that they did that kind of test, right? What is the value per click to them? How do you figure that out? Anybody know how to figure that out? You take the revenue and you divide it by the clicks. So we take the revenue and we divide that by the 1,000 clicks, and they're making revenue per click. $179.50 revenue per click. They're paying $33 per click. ADT's doing $35 per click. Now, ADT might be doing the exact same thing here. However, they don't have these guys. The model is really, you try to break even on number one slot, and then all the margin comes from all the other offers below that. So at the end of the day, If I'm a media buyer, I would be willing to pay more. So now all of a sudden, I might be able to take over the number one spot, if it makes sense. How many more clicks would I get? I don't know. I guess I'd have to figure that out. I'd have to test it. The way it works with Google is I could bid $40, and the way that Google will do it is they usually put you a penny above whatever the highest bid is. So let's say it's 35, then we'd be at 35.01 or something like that, I think. Maybe they changed it, I don't know. But it used to be that they would just put you 1 penny or so above what the highest bid was. So then I could be in the number one slot. Even if I'm bidding $40. What it means is I'm willing to bid up to 40. Bottom line is this is worth more versus what ADT is doing. They may not be able to afford the same amount per click. We could afford, we could afford $100 per click and still make $79.50 per click. And I would take as many clicks as I could all day long. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd get into that because people are always asking, like, what does it mean? Why don't I just pay more for a click? Well, what do you mean whoever could pay the most to acquire a customer wins? Like, how does that work? What do I pay? I'll just pay more, right? Well, you have to be able to afford it. The offer needs to work. It has to be valuable enough for you to do it. And you also have to understand where you're buying traffic and what they need for them to be happy. For you to be the best offer on somebody's platform, what do they need to make, right? If you can understand that, and then you can fit their needs, you can build an offer that makes sense, and then it backs out to you being able to afford the most money for that ad to be shown, they're gonna show you. And it's not always the case for just how much you bid, because people actually have to do something for them to get paid. Now, if you were paying on a CPM, which is a cost per thousand of impressions, well then, in this case, right, if Google's business was on impressions, then they wouldn't care if anybody clicked or not. Then whoever paid the most, whoever bid the most is gonna get the impression. Of course, it needs to be relevant. They want the person to have a good user experience. However, that's not how Google runs their business. They run their business, they charge on a click, right? Someone's taking an action, they're clicking on an ad, that's when they get paid. So just because somebody's bidding more doesn't mean that they're necessarily gonna get the most amount of impressions and they're gonna be shown. If their offer isn't valuable to them, they're out, right? And that comes down to, ultimately, people taking action, your offer working, you bidding, and then you being able to monetize that click on the back end. Just wanted to kind of go through that a little bit and explain it to you guys. Hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. You can join my text community, 917-636-1998. You can follow me on Instagram at EricBeerOfficial. Post there. Hit me up. Comment. Share this if you like this. Turn on your notifications. If you're into this, subscribe. Let me know. Give me feedback. I want to hear what's going on with you guys. If you guys are looking for things. I know a lot of people are asking me for, like, do you have a coaching program? Do you have a mastermind? Do you have a mentorship program? I'm getting that, and that's good. The more people that ask me that, the more I'm willing to do it and considering to do it. And it's starting to pick up. I'm getting it daily now, which is great. And I'm glad, because that tells me that these videos are helping you. It tells me that there's some value being added. And I hope that it's being helpful. I hope that I'm helping you guys with what we have here. I appreciate you. I'm rooting for you guys, Kill it, man. This business is there for the taking. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's not quick money, but if you work your butt off to learn this and work hard, you could do this. There's a lot of pieces that you need to put into place, but you do it step by step, brick by brick, and you can do this. There's a lot of different strategies out there. You could have your own business, or you could be the person that's helping somebody else build their business. I saw something recently of, I don't know whose presentation it was, I forget. It was something about with the gold rush. Back in the day when people were all digging for gold. There was gold everywhere, they were digging into the ground. The person that got to making $1 million the fastest was the person that sold their shovels to all the people looking for the gold. Think about that. There's all this gold, everybody's searching for it, and some guy's like, wait a second, if everybody's searching for the gold, they're gonna need a shovel. I'm gonna go sell them shovels. He's rooting for those people to find the gold, but that's not how he's gonna earn. He's gonna earn when people believe they could find gold and they buy the tool to do it. It's like almost similar to my survey detective, right? I got to convince people that my tool is what's going to help you generate leads for your business. If you're a coach, if you're an expert, and it works, but I got to convince you of that. But maybe you don't have a business. So then I got to convince you that you can use my tool to do some lead generation for other people to build a business. And I got to convince you of that, and it does work. Guys, this is good business. It's fun. It may take some time for you to learn. You may feel like overwhelmed, but that's okay. Take it step by step. Just keep watching these videos, keep paying attention, keep taking notes, keep asking me questions, and let me know what's going on with you. If you guys do want to be coached, Let me know. Let me know if you guys want programs. Like, tell me what you want. The more people that tell me, it's going to help me figure out what direction I should go. If there's tons of people that want this, I'm more excited about it, right? I'm not looking to consulting one person or an agency. I don't want to do that. It's just, it's not where I'm at in my life, in my business. If I could do it where I can speak to a lot of people at one time and build a program where there's some accountability coaches who can help hold your hand through that process, that'd be cool. You know, I'd still be there, but I have support with people helping with you building your business. I'll totally do that. All right, guys. Well, listen, appreciate you being here. Good luck with everything. The last thing I'll say is from the movie Maverick, Tom Cruise says to Rooster, Goose's kid, he says, dude, stop thinking. Just do it. Stop thinking up there. Just do it. Just do. I find all these young kids, they're the ones that will do that. All the people that are a little bit older, are really smart. They get in their own way because they're just thinking. They're creating these false fears inside that just stop them from taking action. Just do it. Just don't worry about it. Just do it. You got to start. It may not be the best. That's okay. You going through the process and learning and doing it is going to move you forward. You sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking is like negotiating against yourself. So just do it. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Be well. Talk to you soon.